Do you look at your mountain of goals and feel stuck?
Or have you already achieved great things and yet you know there's still more?
Then you've come to the right place.
We're here to offer practical tools and tangible strategies to change your mindset
and challenge you to produce a life beyond the norm.
I'm Nate.
I'm Laura.
Welcome to the Transcendence Podcast. So you've probably heard the quote before, you can go fast by yourself, but you can go further together. And to me, this actually brings up the importance of community and the importance of friendship and the importance of having healthy community and healthy friendship. So today I wanted to talk about how to choose your friends wisely. So I thought it'd be fun to bring on one of my best friends, Isaac Brown. Who helps me with all the video production, editing, filming, anything technical, creativity. Isaac's my go-to. Say hi to everybody, Isaac.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So Isaac and I have been friends now for, honestly, we were trying to figure out before this podcast of how long ago. And I can't even really talk about how long ago because it feels like it's just been forever.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
And Isaac's been a part of everything I've ever tried to create, everything I ever wanted to do. We usually do things together. You know, there's usually a part of something that we help each other with in some way. And I believe Isaac and I demonstrate really well what it means to have a true and healthy friendship. So today we'll get into it. You know, why is it important to have friends? You know, obviously friends, they bring more joy out of you. They're people that usually have similar interest in some way, shape, or form, and bring more connection, bring more depth in that interest, and can even bring a higher self-esteem and more confidence to you because they're usually building you up in some way. Friends also keep you active. So we talk about your emotional health, your mental health, but even your physical health, because you tend to go out and do more things if you have people to go do more things with. And it's important that you're actually having close friends, not just acquaintances.
Right. So there's importance of having the close friends in your life. So these are the people that are going to have these characteristics, or at least should have them. So that's something you're going to kind of evaluate and see. Are these people that I'm spending a lot of time with, are these actually my friends? Are they actually bringing me the value and with those characteristics? So you got to take a look at your close circle and the people just outside that close circle, and just take a look and say, since I'm spending so much time with them, are they bringing me the value that I want to have in my life? And you got to look at your future goals and kind of see, are they pointing me in that direction? Are they also headed towards that direction, or are they not?
And it's important to start with clarity. Like that's what we started the whole podcast on. And I've said it over and over again. You have to know where you're at, where you want to go, and then build the path in between. And the people in your life are part of that path in between. You have to know where you're at and you have to know where you want to go, and then who to surround yourself with to keep you on track for your goals. And I think it's also important. I consider my friends family. You know, I consider Isaac a brother, and some of my other really close guy friends that I consider them brothers, and I consider them a part of my family. To me, family is not defined by blood, but by loyalty. I know my close friends have just as much loyalty for me as my immediate family, as my parents, as my siblings, you know, as my spouse. I know there's an immense amount of loyalty, so that's why I consider them all family. So Isaac also brought up a good point of, you know, why it's important to choose your friends really wisely. Your friends shape who you are. You know, we've all heard the quote a million times that you are who you surround yourself with, or you are who your closest 5 friends are. And, you know, everyone has a different version of it. But it's so true. You know, your friends help shape who you are. Like I said, they usually have similar interests, similar style, you know, similar likes and dislikes, similar activities or hobbies. So they actually shape who you are as a person. And it's important that we're choosing our friends very wisely, because your friends, at least for me, my friends inspire me and they challenge me in some area of life that they can help me foster an expertise in that area of life. You know, for some of them, you know, I have one of my other best friends, Brian. Brian's huge into the fitness world, done bodybuilding competitions, personal trained plenty of people, does all kind of diet plans. He actually sells diet plans. You know, I'll put his information in the bio. If anybody's looking to get in shape, he is your go-to person, but he will only work with people that want to get better. And I respect that about him, because he is someone that challenges me day in and day out, just through connection with him and phone calls and, you know, through his social media. He challenges me and pushes me to put my physique and my body and my physical health a priority in my life. and challenges me to have one of those bigger goals. And I have other friends that I put in my life. Mario is another one of my best friends. Mario is sold out for God. I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and he helps remind me how important my servantship is for, the church, for Christianity and spreading the gospel. And he helps remind that part of me and challenges me and encourages me to further myself in my faith. So I'm really specific when I choose my friends that they're going to inspire me and they have a huge attribute of something that I want to chase after.
There's another good point that Nate touched on with his friend Brian, our friend Brian, is that even though Brian doesn't live around here anymore, they're still really close. They in contact multiple times a week via phone calls, and I think that's really cool to see. Is that even though that they're no longer physically close to each other, they are still connected and still bring value to each other, and I think that's really awesome.
And I have another friend that lives across the country that I speak to on a weekly basis. I think it's important to stay in close contact with these people, and technology makes that really simple. And my friend Alex, one of my other close friends, honestly, Alex is a person that we have a lot of similar interests, and he can give a lot of expertise in certain areas like guns. And, we talk about different business planning and stuff too for the future because he actually has a business degree. And he just reminds me to have a good time. Alex is someone that you're going to have fun with. I don't care who you are, you will have fun with Alex Washburn. And, he just reminds me sometimes that I need to have fun and I need to take a break. As much as we talk about business and as much as we talk about, our hobbies like guns and everything, he also just is that constant reminder of, hey, I need to enjoy life as I go through life.
Yeah, so going through choosing your friends, part of it is you can have friends that are different ages than you, because obviously I'm 21, Nate's a couple years older than me, and we have a lot of friends that are several years different from us, and there's also ones that are 10, 15 years older from people from work that we can consider friends because we get along so well, and we bring the value back and forth. So like some older people, for me, like I can look up to and get wisdom and learn from their experiences, especially from work. People having so many years in the industry, you get to learn so many different things. But at the same time, coming in, being younger, you get to provide a different type of perspective on so many different things because you are younger, you have a different mindset and different way you grew up. So just the different perspective there, just a different exchange in value.
Yeah, I have a group of friends that I meet with on a weekly and monthly basis. We meet on a Zoom call, 13 or 14 of us meet on a Zoom call once a week. And then once a month, we do like a couple hour meeting. And we set aside time and we challenge ourselves to be better. And it's led actually by a coach and everything and by one of our mentors. But all these guys are like 35, 45, 55. And like Isaac said, I'm only a few years older than him. I'm only 24 years old. So I'm able to give them a perspective of a young person, and there's a lot of things that have changed since they were 24 years old, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So I'm able to give that perspective, but then I'm also able to learn from them as we go along in life because they obviously have more experience in life in general.
Yeah, and it's even crazy being so many years apart. Like some of those people, they could be our dads, and you can still have that connection with them as if they were just the same age as you. They still have the same connection, the same friendship, even then.
So it's important to specify, how do you determine your current friends? Are they truly friends? And we talked about it, they should challenge you. They should inspire you. They should, you should be a better person because of the group of people that you surround yourself with. They should encourage you to be the best version of yourself. And I think it's important. There's an exercise I do with people a lot of times when I'm actually, either mentoring them or coaching them in a situation. And I talk about their friends, who are you spending time with? And I tell them to do this, write down all your friends, right? All you consider your close actual friends, not just acquaintances, write them all down. Now it's 3 columns. First is their name. Second column is the value that you provide to them. And the third column is the value that they provide to you. I think it's important in a friendship that you provide equal amounts of value. Now, obviously, yeah, there's going to be some days that you provide more value and some days they provide more value, but on average, you should provide equal amounts of value to each other's life. And it also helps when you work on a common goal. I mentioned Isaac and I when we started doing fitness videos, we started on an iPhone, and I think, what was it, Apple editing software that's just built into the computer. What is it, iMovie or something like that?
Yeah.
And now we have lighting, we have audio equipment, we have cameras, we have professional mics, we have the best audio editing softwares. We've grown a lot together as we expanded, the different kind of content that we wanted to produce together. But I think it's so important that we did it together. We've been from the very first fitness video to the very last podcast. Isaac's been a part of it. I've been a part of it. Laura's been a part of it now with the podcast. And it's so much fun to do things together. There's more purpose behind it. There's more meaning behind it. And honestly, we produce a better product because of it.
Yeah, we all have our different strengths and different perspectives. Again, it's always great to have a different view on things. And us working together has definitely taken us to the next level with it. So I think it is a really great thing to be working together with someone else. So you got to find those people that you can do that with.
And don't ever feel like you're using your friends if you're providing equal value. Like, yeah, if you're providing more value than they're providing, then maybe they're not a friend. Maybe you're mentoring them. Or if you're receiving a lot more value than you provide back to them, yeah, maybe you're being mentored by them. You're still going to provide a little bit, but they're definitely providing, 80% of the value. But make sure in your friendship, if you're not providing a 50-50 split, if you're the one lacking, you need to step it up. Because it's important to have a strong friendship where you are building off of each other and you are giving as much value as you're taking. And when you're doing that, you're never using your friends for their talents. You're getting value from them because of their talents, and you're using your talents to give them value back. It's an even exchange. And like I said, yeah, day to day might fluctuate a little bit, but on average, you get value and you give value.
Yeah, so rewinding a little bit back to what Nate said about the 3 columns, you should write those people down that you're close to, your very close group, and then also the people that are just outside of that group, and see, are your close friends actually the ones that are setting you to your goals, or are those the ones outside of your circle? Are those the people that you should be hanging out with more? So you got to take that list and evaluate that and see, are these people right now that I'm spending most of my time with actually bringing me to my goals and bringing me the value I need? Or are those people that I'm not hanging out with that I know and I should be friends with, are those the people I should be hanging out with?
Yeah, and if you see that there's no value exchange at all, even a little bit, you need to limit exposure to that person. Unless there's value that's untapped. You can take a look at it and say, is there value here? And if not, it's not being mean to that person. I've had previous friends in life that we just don't provide each other with the same amount of value as we used to. So it's not that I dislike that person, or it's not that I hate that person, or I think badly of that person. It's just we don't have value that we can share. So we limit the time that we spend together. Obviously, I said it last episode, time is the most valuable resource. So you want to be intentional on who you're spending that time with. And you want to make sure that it's somebody that you can give value to and somebody that you can get value from. But if you're not, limit that exposure, not out of being mean or out of any, negative intention, but because you don't want to waste time that you could be spending with someone that you could be helping or getting help from. So I think Isaac and I are a great example of this. I mentioned before, Isaac's been a part of everything that content-wise I've ever tried to create. Now, obviously, we do other things together. We have fun together. We go out to eat together. Isaac's actually dating my sister-in-law, so he's right there in the family events, and we get to spend a lot of time together, which is great. But there's also an immediate value that I get from Isaac. And to be honest, Isaac's brain doesn't work like other people's brain. Isaac has a way of looking at things in a very complex way, sometimes too complex. Sometimes it slows him down. Sometimes it slows him down too much, and we're like, all right, Isaac, let's pick it up. Let's pick up the pace. But he looks at things in a more complex way, in a more creative way, and he thinks about things outside of the box, and he has a unique ability to use technology to its fullest. He has a unique ability to use cameras, lighting, audio equipment to its fullest, and is always seeking more knowledge on that. Where I need the knowledge, but it's not the knowledge that I'm always seeking. So it's good to have Isaac right beside me, or I can shoot him a quick text and say, hey, how do I edit this? Or, hey, edit this picture really quick because it's going to look way better if you do it. And Isaac provides that value to me of that creativity and challenges me and inspires me to be more creative. When I leave a conversation with Isaac, I walk away with new ideas almost every single time. And that's amazing because Isaac and I have daily conversations. We work together. Like I said, we're at all the family events together. We spend a lot of time together outside of work. We do the podcast together. So we see each other pretty much 7 days a week unless one of us is out of town for something.
Yep. And
it's awesome. But every time I walk away from Isaac, I leave inspired to be more creative.
There was a part where you said that when you come to me, you can ask me, hey, can you edit this photo? And I'll be like, absolutely. Don't think twice about it and just go ahead and do it, send it. And it's nothing like that. I could be that person and be like, oh, this is wasting my time. But we've gotten to that point where in our friendship is we can ask anything of each other and not even have to really wait for an answer of saying, yes, I'm going to do it. You just kind of expect that in a good way that it's going to be done if you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I can count on Isaac for anything I need. If he tells me he's going to have a picture edited by a certain time, it's going to be edited, it's going to be back in my inbox, and I'm going to be able to post it. And then he may, he's also helped me teach me, how to do some of it myself, so I don't have to utilize him. And I think that's important too, is he sees that I'm actively trying to learn more. Maybe not at the same rate he is, but he sees that I do want to try. But I do want to use his expertise as much as possible either because it creates our common goal together.
All right, so now I'm going to talk about Nate's values that he brings to me, which didn't have to think too hard. So the first one that came to my mind is Nate makes his dreams come to a reality. At least right now, he has really big goals, and I know that. And but even the small ones, he can see it through till it actually comes true. And I think that's something that really inspires me. Is any goal that you have is something that you have planned out. So it's not just a dream, it's a goal. You've had a plan, you know how you're going to get there. And I know sometimes it just takes time. So I know that inspires me because I have my own dreams and goals, and seeing you always chasing that dream and going after it and always putting the work in. That's one of the important things, is always putting the work in to get it done. And sometimes I'll catch myself and be like, man, I haven't done this in a while, and it's my goal of mine and a dream of mine. So I want to I have a plan. I just make sure I get that work done, and you really inspire me to make sure I do that. The second thing is being a great salesman is I'm a little envious a little bit. But some of the things that you can do, it's a whole different talent that I didn't really think it was an actual talent. It was just a skill. But Nate has the talent of being able to sell things, being that businessman, and be able to lead people and communicate people in different ways to connect to them. And so that's something I'm actually learning to do. And he's taught me a lot just going through that. But also, he's instilled the confidence in me to right now, like I'm doing a podcast, and I know there's a couple of years ago, there's absolutely no way that that was going to happen. And over the course of the years, teaching all the stuff you guys are listening to this podcast, you'll learn this stuff, and it'll be ingrained into you, and it becomes part of you, and it will take your life and excel it, and you're going to live a life beyond the norm.
Isaac's one of the first people I want to tell when I have a new idea or a new one-liner or something that I'm excited to share and inspire people with. And Isaac's ability to capture that and share it with people allows me to influence people, but it's his way of influencing people too. And I think it's important to pair yourself up with people like that. We talked about Strength Finders a while back as a test to find your talents. And it's important that whatever talents aren't in your top 5, you find them in the people around you, especially some of the ones you need in your life. And I know Isaac and I have definitely done that. Our talents are completely different. I can talk to anybody. I can try to sell to anybody. And I have a habit of being extra, as people say. When we're talking about pushing your goals to the limits, it's usually extra, and it's usually over the top. And sometimes it's too over the top, and it's just waste time. But it's fun for me. And then we talk about, Isaac's talents to actually be able to capture that and to be able to make it look beautiful, to make it look appealing, to make it look like something people want to click on, to make it look, a way that people want to follow it. And to bring out creativity of ideas that we didn't even have outside the box. I was actually questioning the beginning of this episode, hey, should I start with a quote? And he's like, you just did that last week. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. And that's the outside of the boxness that I'm talking about that Isaac thinks about. And sometimes I still do whatever I want because
And I'm fine with that.
because I'm reckless. But we have a lot of fun together. And I think that's important too. If your friendship is nothing but business and you have no fun working with the person, it's not a friendship at that point. It's a business partner. And so there's sometimes that's needed. But everything that we create together, we have fun doing. It could be filming videos at 1 o'clock in the morning. It could be doing podcasts last minute and spending all night editing them. It doesn't matter because we're doing it together and we have fun doing it together. And we know it's going to help people together. So take a moment today to evaluate your group of friends, the close group you have, and right outside that close circle. Because like Isaac said, there may be someone outside that close circle that should be brought in, and there some that should probably be moved out. So evaluate your close group of friends and make sure they are the people that you want surrounding you. And if they're not, change it. And if they are, show gratitude to those people. I found it was really powerful when I asked all my groomsmen to be groomsmen. I actually wrote them all a letter of why they inspired me. And it was amazing to see the reactions. I did it as like, oh, this would just be a cool way to ask them. I didn't think it would have the impact that it had on the groomsmen, but watching each of them read that letter and the responses I got back from each of them, it was so much more powerful than anything I could have ever said to them. And I think it's important to share the value that your friends provide to you. Share it with them. Let them know that they're providing value. Be grateful for them this week.
Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode. We hope that you've learned something new, that you feel challenged, and are inspired to live a life beyond the norm.
If something in this episode stuck out to you, be sure to screenshot the podcast, post it on Instagram, and tag us in it. Let us know what captivated you.
And speaking of Instagram, we would love to connect with you and let you be the first to know about our new episodes and exciting updates.
If you found value in this podcast, be sure to leave us a rating or review. This will allow us to expand our reach and let others know that they can benefit from this podcast as well.
We appreciate you spending your time with us, and we can't wait to be with you again soon.
Join us next time as we continue to live a life beyond the norm.